Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be looking at AI. And specifically some pretty major developments that have been happening recently. So we've got OpenAI's O3 model, which is really changing the way that AI is approaching problem solving. And then we also have NVIDIA's new tool, which is putting unbelievable power in the hands of developers.
It really is amazing.
Just changing the landscape. And then we also were going to be taking a look at the EU's move to regulate AI.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So get ready, because all of this stuff is going to have huge impacts on how we live and work.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's fascinating to see how all of these different stories, like, they seem kind of separate on the surface, but they all kind of connect to paint this, like, bigger picture of where AI is headed. And I think that, like, OpenAI's O3 model is like a prime example of how AI is actually evolving to think a lot more like us, you know?
It really does.
Breaking those complex problems down into smaller, more logical steps.
You know, I've heard about O3, but I don't really understand how it thinks. Like, it sounds almost human.
It really does. So it uses something called chain of thought prompting. And it basically guides the AI to solve problems step by step. Just like, you know, we would. Like, think about it. Like, if you're solving a math problem, you don't just jump immediately to the answer. You have to, like, you know,
like a step by step.
Work through each of the steps logically. And O3 does the same thing. And that leads to some, like, really amazing improvements in accuracy. And this is especially true in things like scientific research, where, like,
absolutely,
precision is key.
So it's not just about speed. It's about accuracy.
Exactly.
And being able to follow, like, a logical process.
And there's another layer to this too. That's even more impressive. So researchers have developed something called hierarchical chain of thought prompting, or they call it COKI.
Got it.
And it basically takes that step-by-step reasoning and, like, structures it in layers. And so it allows the AI to, like, explain its logic at each level. So, like, imagine an AI not only, like, diagnosing a medical condition, but also being able to explain, like, its reasoning to a doctor in a way that they can understand and trust.
That's amazing.
That's, like, the potential of COTI.
Wow. It's like having an AI that can not only solve the problem, but also, like, teach you how it got there.
Exactly.
That could revolutionize so many things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, while we're seeing this type of really advanced reasoning happening, like, in research labs, we're also seeing AI becoming more integrated into our everyday lives. So think about, like, Microsoft's Copilot vision.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Isn't that like having an AI assistant that can just help with all sorts of everyday tasks?
Yeah, like, imagine that you're, like, browsing the web and you see a recipe that you want to make. Copilot vision can actually recognize all of the ingredients and, like, create a shopping list for you. And it can even suggest alternative ingredients based on what you already have. It's all about just making our lives easier and more efficient.
That is really cool, but I feel like that's probably just scratching the surface
for sure.
of what's possible with AI.
Oh, absolutely. We've got things like DeepMind's AlphaFold, which is already, like, accelerating drug discovery because it can predict protein structures with just, like, incredible accuracy.
That's amazing.
And then there's Google DeepMind's Genie 2. Which is, like, transforming game development because it lets developers turn, like, just basic sketches into playable virtual worlds.
That's so cool.
And so this has huge implications, not just for gaming.
But also for things like, you know, training robots in these really realistic simulations.
It seems like AI is just popping up everywhere these days.
It really is.
And the pace of development is just mind-boggling. But what's fueling all this? I mean, is it just the big tech companies?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Because one of the most exciting developments is actually the rise of tools that are making AI development accessible to way more people. So, for example, we have NVIDIA's Project Digits.
I'm not familiar with that one. What is that?
So imagine that you had access to the computing power of a supercomputer right on your desktop.
Wow.
That's essentially what Digits offers.
So it's like putting the power of, like, AI development in the hands of everyday people?
Exactly. It's democratizing AI. So it allows more people to, like, participate in this revolution.
That's huge. And with that accessibility also comes, the need for guidelines and regulations.
Right.
And that's where something like the EU's AI Act comes into play.
Now, I've heard a little bit about that. Can you kind of give me the rundown?
Yeah, so the EU AI Act is basically a framework for regulating high-risk AI systems. So it focuses on things like transparency, accountability, and ethical development.
Got it.
And the goal is to just make sure that AI is used safely and responsibly.
That makes sense.
It's a really complex piece of legislation.
Like that.
But it's like a really significant step towards setting global standards for AI governance.
It sounds like they're really trying to strike a balance between fostering innovation, but then also protecting people from potential risks.
It's a tough needle to thread.
It really is. And I think that this is a conversation that needs to involve everyone, not just lawmakers, not just the tech companies.
It's something that we all have a stake in.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see all these advancements, but they're also sparking all these conversations and debates all over the place. I've been seeing a lot of stuff online, especially on Reddit and Twitter.
It's fascinating to see all the different perspectives. So for example, on Reddit, there are all these debates about the potential impacts of AI on the job market.
Right.
Some people are really concerned about widespread automation.
Totally.
But then other people see it as an opportunity for new types of jobs,
new industry.
And industries to flourish.
And then on Twitter, there's that hashtag AI creativity hashtag.
Oh, yeah.
That's just exploding with artists and creators showcasing how they're using these tools to generate visuals, compose music, even write stories. It's like we're watching this whole new artistic movement be born.
It's a testament to the creative potential of AI.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see just how people are pushing those boundaries.
Absolutely.
Possible.
I feel like we're in uncharted territory.
We are.
And it's a very exciting time
to
be witnessing all this.
Absolutely.
It really does feel like we're at a turning point.
Yeah.
And the decisions we're making now are going to shape the future.
For sure.
For generations to come. And speaking of which, we've covered a lot of ground here today.
We have.
From groundbreaking models to powerful tools and crucial regulations.
Totally.
Before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, let's take a second to recap
let's do it.
some of these key takeaways and really connect the dots for our listeners. So ready to dive back in?
Absolutely. Okay, so we started by exploring OpenAI's O3 model and its remarkable ability to solve problems step by step using something called chain of thought prompting. And what's really fascinating is how this approach is making AI more accurate and transparent, especially in these fields that really need that precision scientific research.
Right. And we talked about how hierarchical chain of thought prompting, or COCI, takes that even further. It structures the AI's reasoning in layers so it can explain its logic, in a way that's understandable to us humans. And I feel like that opens up some incredible possibilities, healthcare diagnostics, where doctors need to understand not just the diagnosis, but how the AI arrived at it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we kind of shifted gears to look at how AI is becoming more and more integrated into our everyday lives with tools like Microsoft's Copilot Vision. Remember that example? It can help you with recognizing the ingredients in a recipe and generating a shopping list. It's all about making those everyday tasks just a little bit easier.
Yeah. AI is definitely becoming more and more a part of how we live and work. But what really stood out to me was the discussion about NVIDIA's Project Digits. The idea that anyone, regardless of their technical background or resources, can have access to the power of AI development is incredibly exciting.
It really is a game changer. By democratizing AI development, tools like Digits are leveling the playing field and, allowing individuals and small businesses to innovate and create solutions that we might never have even imagined before.
And with that increased access comes the need for, responsible development and regulation, which is where the EU's AI Act comes in. It's an attempt to establish guidelines and standards for those high-risk AI systems. And they're focusing on things like transparency and accountability.
It's a very complex issue for sure, but it's so crucial that we have these conversations and put frameworks in place to make sure that, AI is developed and used ethically, for the benefit of, society as a whole.
It really strikes me that the future of AI isn't just being decided, in research labs and government buildings. It's a conversation that's happening everywhere, like from online forums and social media platforms to like, dinner tables and coffee shops.
I think it's incredibly important that we have these conversations in, a wide variety of settings because, AI is going to impact all of us. So it's crucial that we understand the potential benefits, the risks, and engage in those thoughtful discussions about how we went to shape its development.
Absolutely. And we've seen how platforms like Reddit and Twitter are becoming like hubs for these discussions. People are sharing their hopes, their fears, and their ideas about the future of AI.
Yeah. Like on Reddit, for example, there are these fascinating debates about the potential impact of AI on the job market. Some users are concerned about widespread job displacement, while others believe that AI will create new opportunities and ultimately lead to a more fulfilling work experience for people.
And on Twitter, we're seeing just this explosion of creativity with that hashtag AI creativity hashtag, where artists and developers are showcasing amazing things they're doing with AI tools. It's inspiring to see how people are using AI to push the boundaries of art and expression.
It really highlights the fact that AI is not just, a technological development. It's a cultural phenomenon that's influencing, how we think, create, and interact with the world around us.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's safe to say that the world of AI is a really dynamic and rapidly evolving landscape. We've got these groundbreaking models like OpenAI's O3 that are changing the way AI approaches problem solving.
Yeah.
And we've got tools like NVIDIA's Digits that are really democratizing access to AI development. And then we have regulations like the EU's AI Act that are attempting to provide guidelines for responsible development.
And we're also seeing these advancements spark these really important conversations and debates about the role of AI in society, with people from all walks of life weighing in on its potential impact on our lives, our work, and our future.
It's a truly fascinating time to be following this field, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. But before we get, too carried away with all the possibilities, I think it's important to take a step back and think about what all of this means for you, the listener. So we've explored the power of AI to reason and to create and even potentially like reshape entire industries.
Yeah.
But ultimately the question is,
right,
how will these advancements affect your life?
Yeah, that's the real question here, right? Like we can talk about algorithms and processing power all day long, but what really matters is how this technology actually translates into those real-world experiences.
And that's what's so interesting about it, is because the future of AI isn't like some predetermined path.
Right.
It's something we're actively shaping with every choice we make.
For sure.
Every conversation we have.
Absolutely.
So think about it. Like, will you embrace AI tools to enhance your productivity at work?
Yeah.
Will you explore AI-powered creative platforms to express yourself in new ways? Will you engage in discussions about like AI ethics and regulation to make sure it's developed responsibly?
These are all important questions.
Yeah, these aren't like hypothetical questions. These are decisions we're all going to be facing in the years to come.
Yeah.
And the more informed we are, the better equipped we'll be to, navigate this uncharted territory.
For sure. And that's why we really believe it's important to make this information accessible, engaging. AI's not just for tech experts. It's something that's going to touch every aspect of our lives.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of AI, we want to leave you with a few key takeaways to ponder.
All right.
So first, remember that AI is evolving at an incredible pace.
Yeah. I mean,
what seems like science fiction today could be reality tomorrow.
Exactly.
So stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Absolutely.
Second, AI isn't just about technology. It's about people. It's about how we use these tools, how we shape their development, how we ensure that they benefit all of humanity.
Absolutely.
And finally, the future of AI is not predetermined. It's a story we're all writing together.
We are.
So engage in those conversations, share your thoughts, and be an active participant in shaping this exciting new era.
I love that.
And hey, if you want to keep exploring these ideas with us, be sure to follow us on social media at AI for the People.
That's right.
For daily updates and insights, we're constantly sharing the latest news, breakthroughs, and like thought-provoking discussions from
good stuff
from the AI world.
We'd love to hear from you too.
Yeah.
So what excites you the most about the future of AI? What concerns you?
Yeah.
Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Yes.
And let's keep this conversation going.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI frontiers.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep imagining the possibilities.